Alrighty folks, it's Seppo Paju here, coming at you guys with another vlog, and today we're going to be talking about my driving game. A lot of you guys might have seen me throw recently at Gold Hill Challenge in San Diego, or more specifically Oceanside in California, and you saw me ripping these red/orange D2s a lot out there. So I was just thought that what might be relevant right now for me is to talk about my distance drivers. So my go-to distance driver for Max D is D2. I'm digging the 400G plastic myself. It's not stiff, it's not super soft. So I bagged 3 of these myself. I have a overstable one, I have a straight/slightly understable one, and I have a really understable one. This overstable one here, I obviously like to use when there's a little bit more headwind. Long range drives, as you could see, hole 16 at Challenge at Gold Hill. I had a really great drive with this disc, but even into that wind, my overstable D2, you could see how understable it seems. It's not that this disc is actually understable, it's overstable, but in that headwind, even this seemed really flippy. My next stability is this nice and swirly D2, really beautiful. I have had this in my bag for like a year and a half now. This is mostly thrown for sidearms currently. It has a little bit more turn. I'll throw this disc a lot on tailwind drives, and at Gold Hill too, almost every time there was a tailwind, I was throwing this because it has enough stability that I can control it still really well, and it's really good for tailwind shots. I can really count on it still. But yeah, what I mostly enjoy this disc for is sidearms, and I did throw a few of those with this disc at Gold Hill. An amazing disc, really beautiful swirls, and I've been loving this. You can see how much it has gotten beat up, but it's still really reliable, and I know exactly how it flies. Then I have my most understable D2 that's been in my bag for, this is 3rd year, so it's been there for a while. Also thrown a lot for sidearms. I do throw a lot of backhand rollers with this. I did throw it actually also in the air, which is really rare for me to throw this thing in the air for backhand anymore. But at Gold Hill, the tailwind a couple of times was so strong that I could reach for my roller D2. It's a great disc still, even though I don't throw it in the air all that often. So my ideology for driving is, first of all, you gotta pick a disc that's gonna be consistently far flying for yourself. You cannot be picking up, the flippiest Max D driver that you could possibly find. You can have one of those in your bag, but you gotta find something that you can crush it. It's gonna make a nice flex line for you, but it's not gonna cut over too often, or it's not gonna be hooking up to the left too hard, or at least too often. So for me, the perfect stability is D2. I've been using this same run for a couple of years now. So that's something for everybody out there, no matter what company you throw. But when you find a good disc that you like, grab a few of the same run that you can find. So then you can practice with those. It's easier to practice, and then you can use those for a couple of years. So yeah, you have picked your right disc, and then you just gotta hit the field. When we're talking about max distance, thrown on the fairways, people always ask me like, how did you start throwing so far? I was like, because I was throwing so far. I did practice throwing far. I've played my home course a lot, which is really a big bomber course, so I've been throwing a lot of long drives since I was a kid. Always you gotta be working on your technique. If you're not yet, you gotta do that for sure, because so much improvement can be made if you get a correct technique, obviously. I personally prefer releasing discs in a little bit of hyzer. That's the most natural angle for me. You gotta find what's the most natural angle for you to get those long distance drives. I personally like to hit something that's gonna pop up at least a little bit, maybe turn slightly over, but always come back. I always want to have the finish at the end, so I rather play on too overstable than too understable for my Max D drives, because it's just more consistent to rather fade out a little bit than roll over. So really work on your technique, find your angles, find the right discs for yourself. For me, it's the D2. Yeah, so that's how I look at distance driving. Obviously you want to have a little bit of more range in your distance drivers than just your max D. You want to have, the headwind, hyzer drivers, which I have as D1s and X1s, and then you want to have the crazy roller discs that you can throw in the crazy tailwinds and get max D. So you gotta have a good range of drivers in there. But that's what I go with. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't checked out the Central Coast coverage from the challenge at Goat Hill yet, go do it now. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys next week.